Hey, what's up, guys? This is Josh Barr. Here I am redoing the video here, talking about the Uber and Lyft rating system. Halfway through the first video, the sound came off, so this is me redoing the video. Now, the point of this video is to talk about the star rating system that both Uber and Lyft use and how unbalanced the system is. Most riders are unaware of how the system works, and most riders are unaware on how serious Uber and Lyft take their opinion into account. The most important point I want to make out of this video is 4 stars can get a driver fired. 4 stars can get a driver fired. Now, the problem is we've been socially conditioned to think that 4 out of 5 stars is good. But in this star rating system, 4 out of 5 stars is bad, is grounds for getting fired. Now, a driver has to maintain a 4.6 rating or above to stay active. Once a driver gets to a 4.5, they become deactivated. So forget about the 1, 2, or 3 stars. If you give someone 4 stars, it's a 4.0 out of a possible 5.0. So when you throw a 4.0 into someone's 5.0 rating, it brings their rating down. And you're actually giving them a zero out of 5. Now, as I go through the video, I'll show some examples in for reference. So I'm gonna talk about I've been doing this for 9, 10, going on 10 months, and I've had pretty good longevity in comparison to a lot of other drivers who I talk to, and they say they did it for 2, 3 months and quickly became deactivated. So I'm just gonna go through a couple of my feedback summaries, and so here I am in when I first started in August. When I first started, I was in Charlotte, North Carolina, and in the end of January, I moved to San Diego, California. Now here, I have some great comments. My first week working, and I didn't really have a rating because I was new. Moving forward into October, this is one of more favorite comments here. As you can see, someone found out I was pimping in the Cadillac and decided to give me 5 stars. Yeah, I had a 4.95 rating, and actually I was doing such a good job. I had a 6.81 out of a possible 5 stars, and the average driver had 4.84. So I was doing so well. I had 6.81 out of possible 5 stars, and this is about 100 rides later. Now, moving forward to January, I had moved to San Diego, California, and this is where I noticed. This is during the Super Bowl here. I was working the Super Bowl weekend, and you can see this guy. I was talking about go Pats, the Patriots, and my rating went down 0.01, not very much here in San Diego. Moving forward, I got 22 5 stars and 7 below. I got some friendliness flags, and my rating dropped. This is okay, 4.87. It went down about 0.07 points. So okay, whatever. I keep driving, and I got 21 5-star ratings, 3 and below, and this is where I was like, oh, this is 2 weeks ago I had a 4.994, and I saw how quick the rating can drop. So this is where I started noticing how fast a rating can drop, because the entire time I was in Charlotte, I had a 4.95 the entire time I was there, so I never gave it much thought. But when I saw it here, this is where okay, I started becoming aware on how quickly your rating can drop. Moving forward, I get really nice comment. Josh is authentic, wonderful human being. Uh, get some nice comment, 17 5-star ratings, and I get one and below. But my rating goes to 4.8. Now, if you look at last week's, it was 4.81, and now it went down a point, which is not much. But the problem is, or what I have a problem is, how can I have 17 5-star ratings and one person gave me a 4 and below? How does the opinion of one person outweigh the opinion of 17 people? It doesn't make sense. That is unbalanced for it to go down a point like that. Once again, how does the opinion of one person outweigh 17 people? Moving forward, I get 9 out of 10, and it just seemed to maintain the rating there. Here we are, following week, 16 5-star, 3 4-star, 3 and below. Now this guy, remember, he took us on a detour. He gave me a navigation flag, and sure enough, it brought my rating down 0.08 points. And this guy, remember, I was on the highway. I was on the right lane. He said go left, and long story short, I winded up missing the exit, and I had to go around, and it made my rating drop. So this is where I was like, I was really paying attention to my rating, because I knew I couldn't afford to get another 1-star or whatever rating at this rate. I'm not too far away from that 4.5, as opposed to when I was in Charlotte. I never worried about it. I always had a 4.9 my entire time in Charlotte. So I keep working. I get 20 5-star ratings, and one person 4 and below. And what's interesting about this person is, the comment reads, I was wondering if I left my Fitbit bracelet in the car. Now, they're the only person that gave me a 4-star rating and below, and because they left their bracelet in their car. Now, I understand that, the Fitbit bracelets is about like $95, $100 with tax, and I understand that because you forgot something in the car, it wasn't a 5-star experience. It wasn't an outstanding experience, but that has nothing to do with my performance. And you're wondering if, you're not even sure, but this is, your fault. And yes, I got the Lyft text me and send me an email, so and so probably, lost an item. But this can get me fired. A 4-star rating can get someone fired. So because you forgot something that has nothing to do with my performance, why would you get me fired? This is not my fault. And here I am, 4.8. I was able to work up 4.72, but the Fitbit bracelet, this is an example of what I'm trying to say. A four stars can get you fired, as I'll show you in a little bit. But long story short, I couldn't find it. Then a couple days later, I found it wedged between the seat and the armrest there, and I gave it back to her. She didn't compensate me or give me a tip or anything like that, which is fine. But why would you give me 4 stars? Why would you get me fired? Moving forward, so here I am, working hard, and I got 44 5-stars, and out of 45 people, only one person gave me a 4 and below, and I was able to work back up to a 4.88. Now it took, I mean, so many rides to make up for that 4.72. I mean, is it 20 and I got one complaint, and then 44 and I get, one complaint, and I was able to work it up. So what I figured, this is what I did. This is how you work your rating up. This is how you get 5 stars. So I started telling people, I was like, I'll drop them off and I was, hey, it was really nice meeting you. I'm gonna end the trip and I'm gonna give you 5 stars. So I'm not asking for 5 stars. I'm telling the riders I'm giving them 5 stars. So I'll make a more in-depth videos on how to get 5 stars, and I'll probably put it over here somewhere. But I figured out a way to get riders to give me 5 stars, and like I said, I'll make another video uh, to go into more detail. This video is talking about uh, why 4 stars is so bad. But yeah, just tell them you're giving them 5 stars. That's the secret. So moving forward, here we're gonna I'm gonna run some scenarios here. Let's say you do 15 rides, right? 5.0, and they're 5.0 rides. So you got a 75 there. Now you do 5 more rides and you get a 4.0. You get 4.0 because you're a good driver. 4 out of 5 stars is good. So that leaves you with 20. So 75 plus 20 is 95. So you've done a total of 20 rides. So you divide that by 20, and here is your rating, 4.75, which is okay, but it's actually it can give you a false sense of security, and I'm gonna show you how fragile this 4.75 rating is. So let's go back to, you had 95, right? After 20 rides, you got a collective total of 95 stars. So you pick up one guy, and he's that disgruntled, drunk, or unhappy, unsatisfied person, and they're gonna give you a 1 star. So you got 96. So now you've done 21 total rides, and you hit 4.5. So one person gave you a 1 star and dropped your rating by about 17 points. Now, what makes me wonder is how many people gave you 4 stars thinking that is good, and that one person gave you a 1 star and got you fired. So let's redo it over here. Let's say you did 18 rides and they were all 5.0, right? You got 90. So you pick up 2 people, right? And here's the drunk that gave you a 1, and here's the person that's mad at the world and they give you a 1 as well. So you got 92, right? 92 divided by 20, 4.6. Now you have a 92 rating with 20 rides under your belt, and you pick up someone else, and they give you a 4. They give you a 4 because you're a good driver, and when you divide that, you got fired. So 18 people, including the person that gave you the 4, think you're good. So 19 out of 2 people, or 2 out of 21 people, it's unfair how, I mean, that person could have been you got a 4. I don't know, it shows how a 4-star rating can get someone fired. just because 2, 3 people are unhappy with your service. Now, from what I understand, is Lyft and Uber, they look at your past 100 ratings or your 100 rides, and they get the average there. And here I was only doing like 20 rides, but it shows how unbalanced and how devastating a 4.0 rating is, and how you're only 1 star away. You're only 1 star away from getting fired. And the problem with that is, for the riders that are aware of the how the system works, um, they could be hesitant to give someone 4 stars, because it forces riders to give people 5 stars. Now let me explain it like this. Why does Uber and Lyft give give people the option, 4 options to hurt you, 1, 2, 3, and 4 stars? All those options can get hurt you. 4 out of the 5 options hurt you. Why would Uber and Lyft give people 4 out of 5 options to hurt you? So the going back to the riders that are aware of how the system works, they maybe it wasn't an outstanding, a 5 star outstanding ride, and there's always room for improvement. But riders, a rider can sit there and say this person could improve in this, or they could get better in that. But I'm not gonna give them but it's not worthy. I'm not gonna give them a 4 stars because I don't want to get them fired. So even though this driver could improve in this, I'd rather give them 5 stars than get them fired. It's not serious enough to where I'm gonna get them fired, or leave a bad comment or give them 4 stars. So now you're forcing people to hold their tongue, or not give just feedback, because they're scared of getting someone fired, and you're forcing them to give them 5 stars. Now here's something that's we can look at this right here. Here's the Lyft app, and people are rating the Lyft app, and they're not rating the driver itself. They're rating the app itself. But the point I'm trying to make here is, when you give people on the internet, the power of stars, or to vote or rating, there's going to be trolls. There's people that dislike YouTube videos just to dislike YouTube videos, and leave negative comments, and troll, and give 1 star reviews just to be negative. Now, so here we have a 1 star, followed by 5 stars, and a middle ground right here. So this is all doing all right, I guess. 4.3 out of 5 stars. And here we have the fabulous Uber with a 4.1 rating, and this is a perfect example of what I'm trying to show here. One person gives them 5, and the next 3 people, as you can see here, this was all the same day, like one after another, 3 in a row, 1 star reviews. Now, if you're a driver and you get 3 1 stars, consecutive 1 star reviews, I'm sure you're not gonna be driving very long. And this is the point I'm trying to make. When you give people, the right to vote, if you will, in this type of sense, some people are just trolls. They'll just give you one, or maybe they have a valid excuse or not. But the point I'm trying to make by showing Uber's and Lyft rating is, as a leader, as a leader, I'm not gonna tell people to do something that I can't do, or hold a standard that I can't uphold. So why are you gonna tell people to get a 4.5 rating when they themselves can't maintain that standard? Now, I know they're getting rated on different, on app versus the actual driver, but I mean, come on, if you're gonna hold that standard, let's show that you can keep that standard as well, uphold that standard. Now I know why Uber and Lyft are doing this, because this is how they can keep themselves self-regulating. Let's kick out some bad drivers. We got so many new drivers coming on board every week, so it's kind of like a self-filtering process that both Uber and Lyft have. Now, their standards of 4.5, it's hard, man. It's hard. Like I said, a 4-star rating can get you fired, and I'm not saying let's lower the rating to 4.0, because then quality could go down. Oh, I mean, it will go down, but 4.5 is steep. That's like saying you got a 90 in the test and it's not good enough, or you got an A minus and that's not good enough. Uh, but I think, to be fair, they need to do something about the system regardless. But if Lyft came out and said, hey, if you hit 4.3, you're fired, I'd be okay with that, because that's 4.3 is pretty good. And then if Uber was like, if you hit 4.1, you're fired, or 4.2, I mean, because obviously there's gonna be trolls, you know, and come on, it's not like they have 4.5 rating themselves, so why impose that on drivers? Like I said, it makes sense. This is how the self-regulating process, and this is how they keep the market from being oversaturated. But the system, the way it's set up, it forces riders to give people 5 stars that aren't deserving of 5 stars, and a 4-star rating is too devastating as a second option. So hopefully something in a new system can come up in the future. And if you want to get someone fired, then give them 4 stars, and if you really want to get them fired, give them a 1 or whatever. But uh, and like I said with the Fitbit example, that had nothing to do with my performance, and I ended up finding later, and I gave it back to her, and but that could have got me fired for something that wasn't my fault. Now, y'all take care, and I hope the audio works in this one, and I didn't get disconnected. But alright, leave a comment, tell me what you think, and I'll post that video talking about how I was able to recover and get 5 stars. So subscribe, and I'll upload the 5-star video soon.